Hello, everyone. This is Miss Findfeather, and I'm doing my very first fan fiction reading. I'm just kind of doing this on a whim. This is one of the ones I was recommended by my screener, Rock. I don't know how to pronounce her name actually. I've only ever read it. Wakraya. I think that's how I pronounce it. Anyways, this fanfic, I have no idea what it's about. I'm not going to read the summary or anything. Called What by Saccharomyces cerevisibrebe. I can't read that. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know anything about this, so let's dive right in, I guess. Rose! Rose! Rose, come on! You're not listening to me. You're missing out on all the sick beats. Oh, this is Dave. Like Tony Ill, they're all skilled for experimental treatments, procedures, but shit's still circling the drain. And without looking up from her laptop, Rose cut Dave off mid-ramble, hardly even slouching to accommodate the sudden weight of her brother draped over her shoulders and the transparent demand for attention. Dave, hush! I'm trying to think. Dave snickered. Bullshit. You've been Facebook stalking that chick from the library. I'm not stalking, researching. This is delicate matter I can't very well go charging in with all the grace and verbal regurgitation of a certain brother of mine, Rose said, annoyed. Hey, I'll have you know that my personality is graceful and buttery smooth. Yesterday I got 3 girls' phone numbers without breaking a sweat. Yeah, right, okay. I've been going on dates left and right. Everyone wants a piece of this fine ass. Finally, turning to look at Dave, Rose arched a scornful eyebrow and said, Are you perhaps referring to the girls you have a group project with in your introductory paleontology class? Because I have met all of them, and while I don't like to assume, I am fairly certain of their Cephalic tendencies. Would all these dates you're referring to be with Carcat? Dave reddened. What? No. We just spend a lot of time watching movies together and then go get food in a totally platonic best bros kind of way. Shit's not like that. Ah, I see. And that time we came over and I came home to find him spooning you while you both slept was also completely platonic, as were the hickeys on your neck. For the last time, those were bruises, Dave said, blushing further until his ears and neck were completely red. Totally not hickeys. They were from getting hit by balls. Paintballs. I mean, like, not that there's anything wrong with getting slapped in the neck with balls if that's what you're into, I guess. But I don't think they'd be half hard enough to leave a bruise. Like maybe there's some dude holding the world record for most rock-solid balls, and he uses them to slap people, but Cargot's my bro friend. Boy bro, best friend. And bros don't slap bros with their testicles. Swallowed an ice cube there. That was quite an explanation there. It's interesting that you chose to fixate on Rose, Dave said, clambering off of Rose and onto another section of couch in a desperate attempt to avoid her specialized Wikipedia brand psychoanalysis. How about you tell me about the library chick? Papyrus or whatever the fuck? Why can't you just go introduce yourself and see if she says your words are whatever the fuck? Like, fuck? Or actually have words? We've been over this. I refuse to believe that they mean anything. If my soulmate is daft enough to reply to, what? To whatever I have deigned and to introduce myself with, then she cannot possibly be fated to spend her life with me. I trust my chances much more with someone who I can be sure spends time in the academic setting. Rose huffed. Uh-huh. And you're just gonna spend your time talking Kapaya until you can be sure that she's intellectual enough for you. Turning back to her laptop, Rose said, "Her name is Kanaya. Wait, is it really pronounced? Her name is Kanya, and I would prefer that you not butcher it. And she's perfectly intelligent. I've seen her reading a vast, if seemingly random, assortment of literature." Dave snickered and asked, "Have you seen her read Twilight? Because that's not... no way you'd go this hard for a girl who isn't at least a bit into trashy vampire novels." Rose looked up from her laptop again to shoot a scathing look at Dave. It was Anne Rice, and I'm certain I would still be interested had I not seen her reading it. Oh, into old stuff. Sounds classy. She is incredibly elegant, and there is no possible way I can measure up, Rose said. My only chance is to woo her with my intellect, which is why I need to get back to my research. For several minutes there was a blessed silence in the shared apartment, until Dave snorted and said, "You've been staring at that profile pic for 20 minutes. Research, Dave, research!" The following week was one of the most nerve-wracking in Rose's life. Not that she could ever admit it. She had spotted Kanya 4 times, attempted to approach her 6 times, and actually stood in front of her for several long minutes, opening and closing her mouth like a fish before hurrying away. Kanya, to Rose's relief, seemed not to notice any of this. Throughout Rose's trouble, she appeared completely absorbed into the various random, seemingly books she kept in the stacks next to her. Every so often, she pulled out a spiral notebook and made careful comments in it. Brows furrowed, lowered lips between her teeth. I'm going to take a drink. Water, it's great. This, to Rose's chagrin, was incredibly attractive and only made it more difficult to pluck out the courage to introduce herself. After 5 agonizing days of this, Rose began to approach Kanya, half expecting and half hoping to go unnoticed again. But Kanya looked up. For a good 5 seconds, the only thing Rose was capable of thinking was, "I'm so gay as Kanaya. Perfect, lovely, I can't talk today. Perfect, lovely Kanya fixed her beautiful eyes on Rose's incredibly red face. Immediately, the perfectly rehearsed and incredibly thought-through analysis connecting all the books she had seen Kanya read was scrambled to the point of incoherence. Kanya's lovely perfect brows began to furrow again, and in panic Rose blurted out, "Hello, I'm Rose, and the way that Anne Rice uses vampires to identify monsters within ourselves was incredibly interesting at the time, especially considering that the fact that vampires until that point had been antagonists, and thus considered purely evil, which brings out an interesting question about the development of her psyche. By sympathizing with monsters this much, there had to be some sort of event in her life that enamored her to so much with them, especially considering her background in Christianity. Although it could be opposite at the situation of H.P. Lovecraft and his fear of the ocean that drove him to cast tentacle monsters as the ultimate horror of his various works. Perhaps Rice had positive encounters with the occult, or stories of vampires in her childhood, which certainly could have shaped her writing style, much in the same way that James Joyce was heavily burdened with the guilt following her mother's death, and incorporated themes of Catholicism, death, and alcohol into his works. But fuck, I've been talking too much. Anyways, what do you think about all that? Oh my god. I earned myself a drink after that. Rose stood vibrating, with nervous tension, her entire face and neck blushing madly, as Kanya slowly reached up and removed her earbuds from under her G-job. What? She asked, looking vaguely alarmed and concerned for Rose's well-being. Rose stood up, dumbstruck, frozen in place, attempting to say anything at all. What? You said, hi, I'm Rose. Something seemed to click in Kanya's eyes. Carefully and deliberately, she said, hello, I'm Rose, and I'm the way Anne Rice uses vampires to identify monsters within ourselves as criminally interesting? Weakly, Rose nodded. Still, speaking slowly, Kanya continued. And you wanted to know what I think about the collective works of Anne Rice, H.P. Lovecraft, and James Joyce in relation to the various theories of Sigmund Freud? Perhaps, Rose choked out. Well then, said Kanaya. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing these readings too often. Let's see, where was I? Well then, I think that they are impossible to get through, despite dedicating hours upon hours of study to the subject due to this. She trailed off, gesturing to the back of her hand. Across her knuckle, the words, hello, I'm Rose, were printed. The rest of Rose's nervous babbling presumed continued up her arm, most likely all the way to her shoulder under her sleeve. For a second, Rose couldn't help but stare at those 5 faithful words printed across Ganaya's hand before bursting into laughter and yanking her own sleeve up to reveal, what? In considerable large font across her forearm. At this, Kanya can't talk. Kanya joined in the laughter with her, until they both earned a scathing look from the other people in the library. May I? Rose asked, grinning widely and extending her arm. Yes, you may, Kanya said, smiling as much as you're shaking, just as much as she's shaking Rose's hand. Hello, I'm Kanya. You may already know this, Rose said, but just be sure, I'll say it again. Hello, I'm Rose. So they've been both taking notes on each other. Is that what I'm getting from that? Sorry. Like I said, my voice kind of deteriorates after a while. It's just... this is why I'm practicing. God damn. Okay. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. Okay.